Hi everybody. I have about an hour, give or take, before the hockey game, so I figured I'd put another video in here. I'm trying to get up to 300 as fast as possible because the way I figure it is, the more videos I have, the more chances at views I get, and my ultimate goal is 1,000. And then I figure it's gonna keep rolling after that. So that's why I'm putting so many videos right now. At some point, I'll still put videos, but I'll probably slow down. But I'm trying to build it up right now, so that's why. Um, okay. Michelle Pfeiffer. To be honest, I'm familiar with her like everyone, but I don't really know her movies because I only know her through kind of roles that she did because of other people. Like, okay, Grease. I know about Grease because even though I wasn't born yet, I think most people know about certain movies no matter what. So I knew that she was in Grease too. Um, and I knew she was in, the Fabulous Baker Boys and stuff like that. But my favorite movie of hers that she did was Up Close and Personal. And yes, it's a chick flick, rom com, whatever you want. But I like it because it shows the opposite side of Robert Redford. Now, Robert Redford, I'm familiar with because of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and he named the Sundance Film Festival after that, which he highlights younger directors and actors and tries to give them a leg up and a help into the industry, which I appreciate. So I heard about the movie in 1995. It came out in 1996. And of course, it was during the time of Celine Dion. She did the theme of Because You Love Me. Um, so, it kind of went hand in hand, and I'm kind of a movie music girl. I try to find out about the movie, and then I find out about the soundtrack, and I see if they mesh, kind of a thing. And so, also, with me being wanting to be a journalist, uh, this is since 14, probably younger than that, but definitely in middle school. I said, okay, I want to be a journalist. So any movie that had any journalistic theme, I was interested in. So when I found out it was about a weather girl, Michelle Pfeiffer, and how she turned into a news anchor and all this stuff, and I see, I've been about female empowerment my whole life. So I guess with all that combined, I was like, okay, I want to see this movie. Um, so, she starts off, she acts like her character is supposed to be really green in the news industry. She has no idea what she's doing. She just starts off as a weather girl. Then it turns out that they need somebody to on location to talk about something because they didn't have an anchor, and she happens to be on location at that time, and so it all comes together kind of, but it's patchy, so it's not a straight trajectory. But she starts off and she does little stories like you do. You build up your resume, kind of, and then she gets off to Philadelphia, and she thinks it's going to be her big break. Although there's this one woman, Marsha, um, who she wants to be like Marsha, you know. So she's a blonde girl. She plays like Michelle Pfeiffer is blonde, but in the movie she's playing a blonde girl too. Okay, so the point is that she changes her hair, everything to look like Marsha, right? But Marsha doesn't do the reports like you're supposed to do, so she kind of learns bad ropes, I guess. But also, her name is Sally Atwater, but she can't pronounce the S because she's under stress. So they changed her name to Tally because it's easier to say, right? Okay, so then Tally gets involved with Warren, and Warren is Robert Redford, and and let's say that Robert Redford has a reputation in the industry as being a hard ass and being nice, and so but it turns out that yeah, they get romantically involved, but that's not the point. They become like a team and they can't function without each other. So then they learn through that and through all the interactions that they're good together. And so the running joke is that anybody gets involved with Warren, somebody ends up crying, and it's usually not Warren, right? Okay, so somehow she convinces him to get married. They get married, right? Okay, they're married like 2 months. He goes on location to Mexico or somewhere like exotic, and she's kind of like, I would say, a little trepidatious because of the environment and everything. But he says, "No, don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out." Okay. So what happens is a bomb goes off or something, and she knows. Okay. Okay, I have to I'm spoiling the movie, but I have to because I have to tell the story. Okay. All right. So couple scenes before the last one. All right. Warren's gonna go on the plane and whatever. So he forgets his boots, and they have red laces in them. So then what happens is he gets shot down, you know, and so she's like, "Where's Warren? Where's Warren?" Whatever in her head. So then she knows because they pan over, the camera happens to pan over, and she sees the boots with the laces, and she knows he's dead automatically. So then she freaks out. Within 2 seconds, she goes from okay to like crying and the whole thing. And nobody knows what she's doing. They just think she's being weird. Not 2 minutes later, after they break in with news of Warren, his last name is what shot dead today in the whatever. And she already knew it because she knew that that was her husband. Those were her husband's boots. She knew. So then, of course, you see the aftermath of how she rises above and takes everything she learned from him and does it on her own. But then she climbs the ladder still, and she doesn't really. She still climbs, but she's up there. Okay, but the point is that she's respected in the profession in her own right, but she had to learn from him. So I believe I like stories that I can believe and that I can put myself in the actors or actresses' shoes and go, would I do that? Could I do that? Like, would I do the same thing? And in this case, yeah, I would. I could see that happening. So, yeah, so I like Michelle Pfeiffer because obviously she's from an acting family. Her sister is also an actress. Also, her sister had a bit part in that movie also. Um, but regardless of that, she could take her fame and be, uh, you know, like I know what I'm doing and whatever, but she's not like that. So yeah, I appreciate her, and I appreciate any woman who, I appreciate anybody, but especially any woman who will tell you the ropes and tell you the truth and that it's not easy to get in, but I'm going to help you in, kind of a thing. I appreciate that. So there's my little ode to Michelle Pfeiffer. All right, you guys.